Listen, if you're honest, you still believe that if you keep winning, you'll finally be safe. If the numbers go up, if the checklist gets longer, if your name stays in a few more mouths, then you can breathe. You tell yourself your worth is whatever the scoreboard says. And for a while it works. That belief buys you a few quiet nights. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. A man who ties his worth to achievement makes himself ownable. Whoever controls the scoreboard controls him. You're calling it ambition. It's a leash. It feels right because the first time you heard applause, something in you exhaled. The first like, the first promotion, the first nod from someone you wanted to impress. It hit like a drug. Your chest opened, tension loosened. You slept better. Your body filed a false report. See, this is safety. That quiet you felt, it wasn't proof. It was relief. And relief is a liar when fear is steering the car. You thought you found confidence. You found anesthesia. That's why you chased the next fix. Underneath the grind and the hustle, you've wired your sense of safety to other people's approval chemistry. You handed strangers the switch to your confidence and convinced yourself that's leadership. It's not. It's dependency in a suit. You trained your nervous system to respond to pings, points, claps, and checks. And when they don't come, your hands shake. When they do come, you relax like a man borrowing money to pay off a different loan. You didn't fix anything, you just rolled the fear forward. Fear becomes intelligent when it learns to speak your language. It started telling you post more, promise more, be more agreeable, carry the room, shoot for viral, take the deal. It sounds like strategy. It's submission. This is the real problem. Your self-respect moved out of your body. It lives outside you now in dashboards, in rooms you can't control, in people who don't know you, in a boss's mood, in an algorithm's mood. And they rent it back to you by the month. Every cycle you pay, views, quotas, deliverables, perfect lines, smiling on command, you keep current on the rent and call that stability. But you can feel it. Any small change out there and the bottom drops out in here. That's not worth. That's a subscription. You're not the owner, you're the tenant. You think your ambition is feeding you, it's feeding on you. To keep the rent paid, you start trimming edges. You think it's smart. Time the truth for later. Say yes now, figure it out later. Promise big, they'll forget the specifics. You bend a rule, then you call it flexibility. You delay a hard conversation, then claim you're protecting the relationship. You sell a future you may not be able to deliver and convince yourself it's vision. You stay silent when something dirty slides across the table because speaking would cost you momentum. You polish a version of yourself that always looks in control, even when you're rotting with fear. You don't cut corners. You sand them down so no one notices. You turn to stand into a strategy. And as the stakes rise, your little bends turn into breaks. The line you drew around your values becomes a brand campaign. You transform your boundaries into slogans that get likes while you cross them in private. You start collecting wins that don't feel like wins. The deal lands, but your stomach knots. The crowd cheers, but you taste metal in your mouth. Victories start to feel like debts you have to service. Endless payments to the people you tried to please, interest included. You owe them continued alignment with whatever got you there, even if you can't stand it anymore. Each trophy becomes a receipt. Each receipt says you don't belong to yourself. There's always a break point. It sneaks up or it slams you. A win finally feels fraudulent. You look at the number and it's high and you still feel small, or a loss lands and it feels like you died. Not just a dip, erasure. Your chest hollows, your courage slips out the back door with the metrics. You run the same plays that used to make you brave, affirmations, playlists, plans, and it's like shouting at a locked safe. Nothing opens. You cancel risks you would have taken. You become cautious with your own soul. You avoid challenges you used to want because there's no guarantee of applause at the end. You edit your opinions to stay edible. You replace honesty with optics. You know it. You can't trust yourself to tell the truth under pressure, and that is the most expensive poverty a man can live in. Here's the shift that saves you, but it won't coddle you. Worth is not purchased by outcomes. Worth is protected by refusals. Your value as a man does not live in what you acquire. It lives in what you will not trade to acquire it. Your standards under pressure are your signature. Your word kept when losing costs you. Status is your spine. Comfort is expensive. It charges you your self-respect with every discount you take. If you want to stop being ownable, stop letting results negotiate with your principles. In the moments when it actually costs you, that's where your real life is. You don't become confident by thinking. You become confident by surviving reality. Confidence grows each time you choose cost over compromise and live. You told the truth that made a room cold and you didn't die. You kept the inconvenient promise and your head hit the pillow clean. You walked away from an offer that required a small betrayal and you felt the ground under your feet harden. That is self-respect moving back inside your body. That is the switch coming home. Everyone wants inner strength. Almost no one wants the receipts. The receipts are those refusals. That's how you buy back your soul from the market. Let's make it plain. The belief that kept you running was simple. If I keep winning, I'll be safe and respected because my worth is whatever the scoreboard says. You thought that belief was noble. You thought it was fuel. It's a trap. It asks you to outsource your backbone to outcomes you don't fully control. It promises safety and sells you slavery. The scoreboard can be manipulated. It can be delayed, misread, broken by a glitch, changed by a policy you never saw coming. If your sense of self lives there, it's always on a timer. It can be switched off at midnight. A real man can't let that be the lever. If it still feels true, I understand why. The first applause did quiet something loud in you. The first metric did hush that gnawing doubt. It felt like proof because you've been starved. When you haven't eaten in days, a sugar hit feels like a meal, but sugar doesn't build you. Relief isn't proof. It's an echo that tricks your body. You can't build a life on echoes. You need muscle that works when the room is empty. That muscle forms where approvals fall short and you keep going anyway. That muscle forms when you stop renting courage from strangers and fund it with sacrifice. You gutted your system and rewired it to chase a chemical spike that happens when other people nod. You taught your body that safety is external. You did it enough times that now, without the daily yes, you feel exposed. Fix that wiring. Pull the socket. How? Refusal. Small, daily, annoying refusal at first. Say the thing you're tempted to package. Don't post the bait, even when the bait would perform. Cut the filler in a meeting and state what is true, not what sells. Stick to the scope you promised, even if overpromising could win you an instant fan. Look a man in the eye and admit what you can't deliver. Now, not when you get caught. That's how you flip the switch back to manual control. Understand what displacement did to you. When your self-respect lives outside you, algorithms, bosses, and audiences rent it and rewrite your behavior without ever meeting you. They set the price. They set the due date. You jump. You rationalize. You end up living for weather reports. One change in the cloud and your week is ruined. That is not masculinity. That is not leadership. That is dependency with good lighting. You want to be a rock? Stack refusals. You want actual status. Earn it by being the same man under pressure that you are when you're comfortable. Stability is the benefit of fidelity. You know the edges you already trimmed. You know the moments you delayed hard truths because you wanted people to like you a little longer. You remember the rules you bent because the opportunity looked too golden to wait. You feel the overpromises hanging on you right now like wet clothes. Dry off. Strip it down. Start over if you have to. The cost of keeping the lie is higher than the cost of losing momentum. The interest on dishonor never stops compounding. The longer you carry it, the more coward you become by habit. And you know it. You can feel your own disgust when you choose ease over honor. You feel it after the meeting, after the post, after the yes. That disgust is your soul banging on the door. Let it in. As the stakes rise, the pressure to brand your boundaries gets stronger. Don't hide your cowardice behind a motivational quote. Don't turn family first into a shield for laziness. Don't call your avoidance intuition. Don't call your fear strategy. You know when you're playing label games, you know when you're telling yourself a language that makes surrender look smart. Cut it out. If you cross a line, admit it without makeup. If you kept a line, say nothing. Let your life show it. The more you label your virtues, the more you're selling them. And if you're selling them, they're not virtues anymore. They're inventory. Victories should not feel like debts to people you tried to please. If you keep collecting wins that come with monthly payments to public opinion, you will lose your name even as the world learns it. You will wake up successful and unrecognizable to yourself. That is the worst kind of successful there is. Better to be small with a clean spine than big and bending at every gust. You want to be dangerous in the right way? Be the man who can take a loss without breaking his word. That man can't be bought. That man can't be blackmailed by embarrassment. That man doesn't need the room to clap to walk tall. And yes, there will be a moment where a win feels fraudulent because you're out of alignment, or a loss feels like erasure because you put your identity in the result. Good. That moment is diagnosis. It means something vital still wants to live in you. Use it. Don't numb it with another hit of applause. Sit in it until you're clear on what you traded. Then draw the line where the trade happened and don't cross it again. Make it costly to yourself. Feel the burn. That pain is the price of coming back to solid ground. The alternative is a lifetime of performing for approval that can vanish at midnight. So what replaces this addiction? Refusals. Clear, simple, hard refusals. Refuse to sell a piece of your integrity for speed. Refuse to make promises you know you can't honor to buy a nod. Refuse to delay truth until it's convenient. Refuse to let a flattering opportunity move you if it requires a small betrayal. Refuse to be rushed into saying yes when the voice in you needs more time. This is not sexy work. This is not postable. But it is how you lay brick after brick into an identity that doesn't fall when the market shakes. The life you want is hidden behind the actions you avoid. Try this in the real world. Your boss asks for a number you can't hit with the resources you have. Don't smile and lie to get the pat. State the truth. Offer the real plan. Take the heat. You don't die. Your partner asks if you took on something you promised you wouldn't. Don't explain your way out. Say, yes, I crossed it, I won't again. Keep that promise. Your audience expects a take that would go viral, but that you don't believe. Don't post it. Watch the dip. Keep building something true. Your friend wants you to co-sign a narrative that makes him feel good but keeps him weak. Don't do it. If he leaves, let him. That's not cruelty. That's respect for both of you. These are not grand gestures. They are reps. And if you can't do the small ones, you will fold on the big ones when the lights are hot. You don't become confident by thinking. You become confident by surviving reality. Survive the reality of being disliked for a week. Survive the reality of missing a number because you wouldn't BS it. Survive the reality of walking away from a check that asked your soul for a receipt. Watch what happens inside you. Watch your breathing change. Watch your eyes level out in the mirror. You will feel something you've been chasing in all the wrong places. Weight, not heaviness, gravity, the sense that you are difficult to move. That's a man. Let me tell you something blunt. All the content hacks, all the sales tricks, all the diet plans, all the morning routines, keep them if they help, but they are fluff if your standards are negotiable. A routine is not a backbone. A system is not a soul. You can stack habits to the ceiling and still be buyable if your worth lives outside you. The only thing that makes a man unbuyable is fidelity under pressure. Not speeches, not personal brands, not cleverness. Fidelity. Say it like it is. Keep what you said. Pay the cost it demands. Repeat until it's not a decision anymore. It's who you are. This will make your life harder in the short term. You will take hits. Some doors will close. Some people will leave. A few will get loud about it. Fine. Comfort is expensive. It charges interest on your courage until you wake up broke. What you're buying with these refusals is something very few men ever carry. Peace that doesn't care who's watching. A spine that doesn't need a backdrop. An identity that can withstand a bad month, a cold room, a missing clap. You won't need to perform constant competence to feel like a man. You'll be one in silence. You want to lead? Lead yourself when no one is looking. You want respect. Respect what you tell yourself in the dark more than what you show them in the day. You want success? Make peace with losing the kind you can't keep without selling pieces of yourself. You will not get out of this life without pain. Choose the pain that builds you. The applause you're chasing cannot carry you when it matters most. It will vanish when you need it. If your courage lives there, you will vanish with it. Fear becomes intelligent when it learns to speak your language. Right now, your fear is fluent. It knows your ambitions, your favorite words, your exact insecurities. It will pitch you compromises dressed as strategy. It will whisper, just this once, we can correct later. It will call real standards rigidity and real boundaries ego. It will flatter you with the idea that you're too smart for simple honor. Laugh at that voice, starve it. Don't debate it. Every time you argue with fear, it learns your tactics. Don't argue, act. Drop the excuse. Do the clean, hard thing. Let the consequence bite you. That bite is where the old you dies. And when you choose like this, something else happens. Your life stops being so loud. You stop rehearsing conversations in your head. You stop staging your image. You stop fearing that you'll be found out because there is nothing left to find out. Who you are in private is who you are in public. That congruence is quiet. It frees up energy that you used to spend lying to yourself. You'll pour it into work that actually matters. Not everything will go your way. Good. You'll be okay. You will hold yourself with the same weight on a bad day as on a good one. That's power. You can't fake that. People will feel it, they'll trust it, or they'll resent it. Either way, they'll know it's real. Don't get it twisted. This is not about being rude or inflexible or dramatic. It's about being exact with your own soul. It's about saying, I do not trade this. Not for applause, not for comfort, not for speed. You don't have to broadcast it. You don't have to tattoo it on your feed. Just live it so consistently that the people around you could predict your decisions before you make them, because your standards don't move with the weather. That predictability is strength. It tells the world, you can rely on me to be me. And then identity hardens. You become the man who owns himself. You don't bargain your voice for access. You don't swap your word for status. You don't need constant wins to feel alive. You become unbuyable because your value is anchored in fidelity, not in trophies that can be taken. Your name isn't a brand, it's a bond. People can trust it, you can trust it. That trust pays dividends no algorithm can touch. The scoreboard can go up or down. It will not take you with it. This is the part where a lot of men nod and do nothing. Don't be that man. Don't clip this and save it. Don't add it to the playlist that makes you feel like you're changing. Change. Today. Not huge, sharp, specific. Choose one refusal that hits you where it hurts. Tell that unflattering truth you've been sitting on. Keep the inconvenient promise you've been dodging. Walk away from the offer that looks perfect but smells like a small betrayal. Don't announce it. Do it. Let the discomfort hit. Let the numbers do whatever they want. Sit there and breathe. When your chest tightens, remind yourself, I'm not dying. I'm taking my switch back. Tomorrow, do it again. Stack these choices until they stack you. Let people call you difficult. Let the easy crowd thin out. Let your voice get steady. When a new opportunity comes tied to an old compromise, say no faster. When a loss comes, don't hide. Stand where everyone can see you and hold your shape. That's leadership. When a win comes, accept it like a man, not a hungry boy. No preening, no debt. On to the next. That rhythm makes you a threat to the game because you're not playing it for permission anymore. You are building a life that stays, not a moment that trends. Stop renting your worth. Evict every landlord that thinks they own your spine. Metrics, bosses, algorithms, audiences, they can measure your output, not your value. They can praise your result, not your character. Your worth isn't what you achieve. It isn't what you get. It's what you refuse to trade to get it. Every day, the world will lay chips on the table and ask for tiny pieces of you in return. Smile, push the chips back, put your own name on the table and walk out with it intact. The men you admire didn't become immovable by stacking applause. They became immovable by surviving their own honesty. You're not waiting for a feeling. You're not waiting for a perfect plan. You're not waiting for a sign. The sign is this. You already know where you're weak. You already know the trade you keep making. Cut it. Now, not tomorrow. Now. Go make one hard phone call, send one clean message, cancel one false yes, deliver one hard truth, keep one promise that costs you sleep. Proof of who you are doesn't live in your head. It lives in your actions under pressure. That's where men are made or broken. The life you want is hidden behind the actions you avoid. Go into the room you've been avoiding. Say the thing you've been polishing. Lose the points you've been hoarding. If you can't do it for yourself yet, do it because some younger version of you is watching, wondering if he can ever become someone he respects. Show him yes. Show him how. When you lay down tonight, I don't care about your metrics. I don't care about your streaks. I don't care about your brand. I care if you kept your word when it cost you. I care if you told the truth without a camera on. I care if you took a hit and didn't sell yourself. And that's how you sleep like a man. That's how you wake up dangerous in the right way. Not because you can crush competition, but because you cannot be moved from who you are. The world needs that. You need that. Stand up. Pick your refusal. Let the scoreboard do whatever it wants. Own yourself or be owned. There is no middle.